Good afternoon and welcome back to I-24 News. I'm Benjamin Tjong. A major symbolic blow to the Islamic State, Syrian government forces say they have recaptured the ancient city of Palmyra. The jihadists took the famed UNESCO World Heritage Site, known as the Pearl of the Desert, last May and made headlines by gleefully blowing up many of its ancient ruins. After a battle overnight, military sources say regime forces have driven out the Islamic State and that the jihadists fled to the east. I-24's Sam Israel has more.
Syrian forces have driven out the Islamic State jihadis from the historic town of Palmyra. After 4 weeks of fighting, regime forces first captured the town of Al-Amiria on the northern outskirts of Palmyra. An official from the Syrian military said that Al-Amiria was Daesh's gateway into the city. On Sunday, Syrian forces entered the city itself and have now driven the Islamic State jihadis back.
We are still destroying the terrorists, especially in the western districts of Palmyra, and they are now withdrawing, using large convoys and driving away from the city.
Not only has this opened up much of the territory the Islamic State controls in Syria, but reports indicated that over 400 ISIS soldiers were killed in this campaign. This makes the loss of Palmyra the greatest defeat ISIS has faced on the ground. However, the Islamic State and many skirmishes between them and the Syrian forces have destroyed many historical relics. In Damascus, the head of the Syrian Antiquities said he hoped that a thorough assessment of damage to the historic site could take place in a few days.
As an archaeological site, we have reached the final stages of liberating the archaeological city. It seems the road of Deir Ezzor, Damascus, and the three main directions are besieged. Our expectations and hopes are that it is a matter of 1, 2, or 3 days that everything will be over.
In Iraq, government security forces have continued their offensive on the city of Mosul, which started on Thursday. Iraqi forces have been backed by Kurdish forces and airstrikes by the United States, which killed the Islamic State's Minister of Finance on Friday.
A relentless air campaign and support for forces in Iraq and Syria who are fighting ISIL on the ground has allowed us to take approximately 40% of the populated territory that ISIL once held in Iraq. We're supporting Iraqi security forces who are beginning to put pressure on the ISIL stronghold of Mosul, and we will not stop until ISIL's safe havens are destroyed.
Iraqi forces publicly announced that they hope to retake Mosul this year and advance along the Tigris River. However, many question in private whether the army, which partially collapsed when the Islamic State overran a third of the country in June, will be ready in time.